Okay, so for this class, this is trigger point. You need, again, a tennis ball and an option at the very end. We're going to do a back release using 2 tennis balls in a sock, a sleeve, a stocking, anything that will hold the 2 balls together like this. So grab your tennis ball. You also, I'm going to just add this in. If you have a foam roller, it's a trigger point grid. It's different than melt. Melt is a soft roller. Melt focuses on fascial, all your fascial systems. It is amazing. I would definitely encourage you, if you have not had the opportunity to try that with Betsy, check the schedule and give that a go. This is different. This goes deeper. We are going to hydrate fascia, but we're going into some deeper muscle tissue and relieving some of the knots that can accumulate within the fibers of the muscle, which causes discomfort. And that's what the focus of this class is today. So starting with your tennis ball, I'm going to ask you to stand up, place your tennis ball on the floor, and just quickly, I want you to place the ball right in the center of your foot, right around the middle by the arch, and just roll, simply roll front and back right along the arch of your foot. We're going to do a very short stimulation of your fascia on the bottom of your feet. If you have or have ever suffered from plantar fasciitis, this is great for you to do. If you need to hold on to a chair or a wall for balance, please do so. This is light scrubbing, it's called, rolling through the arch of the foot to the middle of the foot. Then plant the ball of your feet on the floor, wiggle side to side, getting the heel, and then below the heel. Then move it up along the ball of your feet, place your heel on the floor, and just roll side along the base of your toes. That's all. As much pressure as you feel is appropriate for that foot today. And then take a moment to once again just scribble around the whole foot. It's as if we're just waking up our feet. That's all we're doing here. It's a great way to start the day because every step you take, every movement starts from the ground up. And then change legs, and just we spent like 1 or 2 minutes there. You probably can notice as you stand a slight difference between your feet already. Can you imagine doing a full melt series, how great that's going to feel? So you're going to grab your other foot, start right in the middle of the foot, and start rolling or scribbling right around the arch into the middle of the foot. This should feel pretty good. Then go ahead and place the balls of your feet or the ball of your foot and wiggle side to side for the heel. And then enter the base of the heel. Slide the ball back. Now you're going to place the heel of your foot on the floor and roll from the ball of your foot across. Just across the base of the toes, applying as much body weight as feels comfortable. This should not hurt. We're not really hitting any trigger points here. And then scribble around the foot. So again, think about stimulating. Fascia is connective tissue. When it gets dehydrated, it tightens up and it gets real sticky. That inhibits the muscle movement that lies underneath the fascial tissue. So if you think of it that way, it makes perfect sense. And then when we release it and shake it out, now the fascia can kind of suck in the moisture and becomes a little bit more pliable, a little more flexible. Okay, so we got a little prep for the feet. Now grab your tennis ball. You have an option. You can use a wall. A wall for this particular trigger point we're going to do next is a little bit easier because it's less body weight than seated. So you would just use the wall and place it there. I'm going to show you on the floor I want you to know you have the wall as an option. But I think that this is really going to be fine for everybody. If it is not, stand up and find a wall. Otherwise, you're going to take your tennis ball and we're going to do a glide along the whole glute. So if you put your hand on your butt and spread your fingers, that's the glute. That's all the glute. There's a bunch of muscles there, 3 gluteus muscles, the big one, gluteus maximus. So we're going to roll around that muscle group, but starting at just below the ridge of the pelvis, the soft tissue, just right about here, right where your back pockets would start. So when you come to a seated position, that's where you place the ball. So go ahead, find that position. And for me, it's right at the top of the pockets on these leggings. So I'm going to place the ball there, lean back to apply some body weight, and using my hands, guys, just lift up your body and wiggle, starting at the top, go across just below the base or the bony part of your hip pelvis, and roll, wiggle, circle around the glutes. We're not going too deep just yet. Stimulating the whole glute complex. Now, take the ball at the medial, so closer to the middle of your back. Your sacrum is that triangular bone here. Take the ball just medial, just off to the side at the higher end of where the glutes insert, right about here. And we're going to stop in that position. Make sure you're on the soft tissue, not on the bone. Come on back to the elbows now. Bring your feet in a comfortable, slightly angled position. Settle in and just let your body surrender into the ball in that position. In fact, I would invite you to close your eyes. Take a deep breath in your nose, out your mouth. You may start to notice some sensation. This typically is not a real cranky trigger point. If it is, stay here a little bit longer. Otherwise, I'm going to ask you to glide slightly lateral. So now you feel like you're more in the middle of the upper part of your butt tissue. Same thing, settle in, release there, angle your knees, breathe. And one more, slide or glide right out to the side before you hit the bony, which you would perceive as your hip. Right before you hit that bony point, you're going to stop short of that, settle into the soft tissue. Now angle a bit more. You're kind of lateral to that side, that upper portion of the muscle tissue. I want you to do the same thing, surrender. This may be a little more sensitive than the other two. Take a deep breath here. Remember, when you breathe out, surrender to it. Release it. We can only release muscles, not tension, if we relax. Remember that. Breathe and relax around it. Now, from that position, come on up, take that leg, straighten out that leg. So on the side that you have the ball, the leg is going to be straight, the other leg is bent. Your hands are navigating the amount of weight. Therefore, release pressure into the trigger point area. Now I'm going to ask you to lower, wiggle so that the ball is lowering. Move it around, do a few circles. You should notice a slightly deeper sensation here. Good. Now find any tender spot. Stay there, and you can actually go back a little bit farther, and if you really feel brave, come all the way down. Although I will say this position, if you come all the way down supine, is a little bit less pressure on the ball. This one here tends to be the most. So go ahead and find that position. I want you to breathe, relax, take 3 breaths there. 3 breaths. And when you're ready, take your time. Take a peek at the screen. We're going to go for the piriformis, and I like to show you. I'm a visual learner, so if you are as well, this will help us. If you take a look at your screen, everybody, this is your sacrum. See that triangular-like bone? Your piriformis, a deep muscle, runs from your greater trochanter, this is your femur, your thigh bone, into the sacrum. So right there. Very popular for low back discomfort and very popular for shooting pain. So remember, the root cause of your pain might be this, but you might feel discomfort all the way down the leg. So just have that sense of understanding. We're going to release these 2. We're going to start with the red trigger point. So find that now on your body. You might have already felt some when we did the glutes. So from a seated position, refine it, but this time if you're not down on your elbow, come down to the elbow position. I want you to angle yourself slightly towards the floor, the diagonal on that side. Now settle in, you're just outside of the sacrum. Take a deep breath and relax. Your bottom leg, slowly open and close. Lower towards the floor and back up. If you're met with pain or extreme discomfort, then stop. Then just sit and release. Otherwise, your body may be talking, and that's okay. Trigger point work, it's almost like self-massage, right? If it's too deep, if it's making you ouch, 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 then ease up a little bit. Now, take that same leg and cross it over. Give me a figure 4 legs. Now, if you didn't feel anything, this position will probably change that. You're welcome. And stay here, wiggle around a little mini circles. Find the cranky spot, settle in, take a deep breath. Release that leg. Slide the ball to the lateral. So looking at that diagram, go to the green dot. Now you're a little closer to the side towards the hip. Stay there, find your trigger point. And if you don't have one, that's okay. This is good. We're improving our circulation, so it's all good. Settle in first, take a deep breath. If that is not a problem, take that bottom leg, slide it out on the floor, and then bring it back in. Slide it out on the floor and bring it back in. If that's not a problem, lift the foot off of the floor, slide it out and in, slowly with your breath, and then settle in. If there was one spot that talked a little bit louder than the other, settle in there, release as best you can, surrender to the ball, and take one more deep breath in your nose and out your mouth. Beautiful. Can't wait to get off that. Now, glide over, same side. we're going to go right into the hip. So glide over to the side. Take your top foot, cross it over, and find the soft tissue now right at the below the bony portion of, or that bony protrusion, I should say. So you're going to go here right down into the soft tissue of the hip. So on the same side, elbow position, angle yourself slightly forward, using your body weight. Begin to rock or glide up and down in a vertical position along the fibers of that muscle. The top leg can be any position that's comfortable. Bottom leg straight but soft. Now cross friction, glide across. We're hitting the TFL, which is one of your major hip flexors. Glide laterally or horizontal in the body, and you're going to almost feel, if you pay attention, you're going to feel the fibers of your muscles gliding over your tennis ball. Settle in somewhere in the middle, perhaps where you're noticing a bit more sensation. Surrender. If you can, go all the way down, be my guest. If you need to come up a little bit more, find just the right amount of sensation that is appropriate for you today. When you get there, relax your shoulders, close your eyes, take a deep breath in your nose and out your mouth. And roll off of the ball, everybody. I'm going to ask you to take a break. Just lay down on the floor, extend your legs out straight, arms by your side, relax your whole body, and just notice. Stay there, close your eyes, notice. Is there a difference between the side that you released or in comparison to the other side? Okay, so come on up. Now this is, if you look at the screen, this is TFL. This is the muscle that we were just using a trigger point. So it gives you, again, it gives you a little visual as we go to the other side. So we're going to work in reverse. We're going to start with that muscle. There's no right or wrong to how you're releasing the trigger points in your body. So go ahead and find, you're on the other side now, find that particular muscle or muscle group. And we're down, we're over on the elbow on our side. Top leg is slightly bent to find support. Bottom leg is soft but straight. And we start with the TFL. If you want to look at the screen, you can get a sense of that muscle. When your TFL is tight, that's one of the, again, a major hip flexor. That also can prevent in some low back discomfort. You would think that it would be just hip pain if that muscle was either overworked or underworked. Don't forget, the body is a very mysterious thing. It could be either. So we glide vertical and then we cross friction, trying to soften and release. Then we're going to settle in, find a spot that feels as though it might be a little crankier than the others. Relax your shoulders, stay in good posture. Deep breath in your nose, out your mouth. Remember, when you breathe out, surrender. Surrender your weight. Let the muscle release. So the tightness, those knots need to release, and there's a very strong neuromuscular connection. That's where the breath comes in. If you're holding your breath and you're holding tension, you can't relieve tension. So neuromuscularly, your brain needs to tell the muscle to relax. And it might feel very different on this side than the other side. So wiggle it around a little bit, and we're going to move. We're going to shift over to the butt, the glutes, and the piriformis. So come on up, and we'll start with the glutes because those are a little bit more superficial. So again, find your seated position. You remember your sacrum, that triangle bone. We're going to start on the inner, more medial, more center body, soft tissue below the bone, off to the side of the bone. Start there and then wiggle around. Use your weight. You could make circles. If you want to put more pressure into all the glutes, you can come down to the elbows. Wiggle it all around. Okay, now stop back at that medial point. Settle in, relax. Take a deep breath. Exhale, release it. Glide it over to the middle. Angle your body just a bit. Again, relax. Your knees are going to drop a little bit closer towards the floor at an angle. Use your hands to position you. Deep breathing. Each spot we deep breathe, and the focus on the out breath is to release. Let go. And one more, a little more lateral, which seems to be, for many of us, a bit more sensitive. Talks a little bit louder. Needs a little bit more attention. So deep, deep, deep breath there. Now wiggle around a little bit, wiggle around on the glutes, and find, before we go deeper into the piriformis, wiggle around and see if there's any other tight spots. And then we're going to go back to the piriformis. So remember, the piriformis is that it runs horizontal and it's a little bit deeper. So we refine that position, come on down to the elbows if you can, right? It kind of feels like you're slightly at a diagonal, knees are bent, more in the middle of your butt, as if you're allowing the tennis ball to penetrate deeper than the superficial muscles. So go ahead, find it, settle in, take another deep breath here. Once you feel as though you've got a bit of a release there, very slowly open and close your bottom leg. Ooh, yeah. If you're not sure that you found your piriformis, you're sure now. Okay, come on, try straightening out that leg. And come on up. Come on up one more. Come on up to this position. Take one more breath. Now release it back down and glide over to the lateral. So again, reimagine your piriformis. Now you're a little bit more lateral. This tends to be a bit more sensitive on many of us. So if that's what you're noticing, it's perfectly normal. You can try taking that leg and doing a figure 4. That might be too intense. Or try sliding the leg in and out. Any of these positions will help to facilitate a deeper release. Some work better than others for our body, so don't hesitate to play with it. If you're met with any level of what you perceive as nerve pain, like a shooting ow, then stop. Then you're not on the right spot. If you're on a real hard bony protrusion of a joint or a muscle, then you're not on the right spot. You're looking for the soft tissue. And one more deep breath, wiggle it around a little bit, find another spot if you have one. Release, soften, decide you want to go all the way down, stay up on the elbow or arms, totally up to you. Take another deep breath here. Release. And come on off, roll off, and let's lay back down. Come back into a supine position. Rest your arms by your side. Just relax and breathe. And notice a sense of perhaps equalness between your right and left side. You might feel like your butt cheeks are a little bit flat or a little bit like looser, surrendering into the surface you're laying on. That's all a good sign. So right now, those areas that we were just compressing with the tennis ball are filling up with fluid, with oxygen, with blood flow that's going to supply oxygen. This is a great prep for your workout. So, and we're going to do some glute work today. Okay, so before we finish up on our trigger point session, I'm going to ask you if you want to stick around this is for extra credit. Isn't it great that you get extra credit? Take your ball, your 2 tennis balls into the sock, like I have here. 2 options. One is to use the wall. And if you use the wall, we're going to start at your thoracic spine. I'm not going into the low back, the QL, the deep lumbar muscles. I'm going to let a professional massage therapist do that. I don't like to self-treat that unless there's a trainer or a therapist with you. So we're going to start just at the lower part of your ribs, your thoracic spine. Right there, we're going on either side of your vertebrae of the spinal column. If you're at the wall, place the ball at that spot, walk your feet out to where you feel it's offering just the right amount of body weight into the ball. And you're just going to hold that position and breathe. We're going to roll, but I want you to hold it and breathe first. If you try that and you find that you can do a little bit more, this is where your roller, if you happen to have a foam roller, you can use a roller, which would actually make it a much lighter release, but that would go there. Or what we're going to do today is use the double ball laying down. And my apologies, I should have asked you to get like a pillow, a towel. I'm going to use a yoga block, something to support your head if you want to grab that quickly. And I will show you the position. So we place the ball in the same spot, but this time we're going to lay on it. Knees bent where you're comfortable. Make sure your pillow or block is there to support your head so your neck does not take a hit on this. So now I'm going to find my spot. You don't need to look at me. Just follow my cues. Relax. In fact, close your eyes. You want to feel as though the ball is more mid-back, right on either side of your vertebrae at the lower part of your rib cage. Take a moment, relax, surrender to that. Know that there's some of your hip flexor muscles that attach to your thoracic, believe it or not, your thoracic back. So once again, if you're met with some hip pain or some low back pain, the culprit could involve the attachments to this part of your spine. Deep breath in, and we surrender and let it go. If you're on the wall, if you're on the floor, if you're on the roller, it doesn't matter. Begin to roll. Imagine going up 1 vertebrae, adjusting your position, supporting your head. Just move on up 1 notch. Settle in there. Breath in your nose and out your mouth. Glide up, one more. So we're heading up. Now you're getting close to the lower part of your shoulder blades. Take a deep breath there. Glide up. Now you're going up somewhere between your shoulder blades is how it's going to feel. Find the spot, stay on the soft tissue on either side of the spine. Deep breath. Gliding up. Now you're getting closer to the upper part of the scapula. You're not on your neck. If you're a little bit higher than the rest of us, do not go into the neck with this technique. You're going to stop right at the upper shoulders. Breathe. And go ahead and finish it. Come on up, right up to the upper part of your shoulders, not quite at the neck. You're hitting your traps, your trapezius muscles. They like to hold on to a lot of stress and tension. And before we come off of this gentle back release, I'm going to ask you to just roll around a little bit, up and down though. Don't roll over the spine. Just glide in a vertical body position, and any area, maybe higher, maybe lower, any spot that feels as if it's a bit crankier than the others, go ahead and give it a bit more attention by settling there. Taking a few slow, deep breaths. Always remember to relax. If the tension is too tight and your body is resisting it, you can feel the muscle contracting, then we're just defeating the purpose. That's okay. Your body's not ready for this deeper release. It's okay. Don't force it. Just stop or go to the wall. One more breath here, everybody. And very gently lift, remove the ball, remove your pillow, and take one final assessment as you relax into a supine position. Once again, surrendering to the surface below you. Breathe in your nose, breathe out your mouth. And when you're ready, roll over onto your side and come on up.